Hello there. I'm Straw Hat Lucas from The Last Ark for the News Coup Chapter Review. The Void Month is over, Madman Ichiro Oda has successfully completed his eye surgery, and please ignore my weird facial hair, I'm trying to see if I can grow a beard. This week's events started with an image of Fire Fist Ace warming a bath for a group of capybaras. What's wild, though, is the capybaras are not freaking out that their bath is being warmed up by a ghost. We open up on Marine Base G1, where Commodore Brand New is explaining to these two joke, who no one cares about except for maybe Cube of the Red Sea, about these two ships with massive dents and damage. Brand New explains to Full Body and 123 Django that Garp called these battleship bags and would use them instead of sandbags for punching. We'll come back to that later. But before we move on, I gotta say, Brand New delivered the second coldest line in the entire chapter when he said, "No one is born a hero. It is a strength you have to earn." So, we open up on Hachinosuke, Beehive Island, also known as Hachinosu, where we see Garp has tossed San Juan Wolf headfirst into the ocean, where we see the lower half of his torso sticking up out of the water, his sexy giant body waiting to be saved as he drowns, which Devil Fruit users do tend to do. We also see Vasco Shot use his Glug Glug fruit in an interesting way when he downs a buttload of booze to blast a fire breath from his mouth in what he calls Heavy Drinker Hearth Fire. And I really wish I could do that, because every time I drink a buttload of booze, all I do is shit my pants and pass out. What I love about him using this attack, though, is Pizarro seeming to be the only one affected by it. He starts calling out to Vasco to stop before he destroys the island, which, is made of Pizarro. Or is Pizarro made of island? Questions to be answered at a later time. We then see the other members of SWORD have successfully rescued the hostages and slaves from the island and are setting sail as Garp tells Helmeppo, Kobe, and Prince Groose that it's time to pull out, a phrase Big Mom should take to heart. As he does this, our boy Kuzan, 10th Titanic commander of the Blackbeard Pirates, steps out to remind Garp he cannot let him leave. But Garp smiles, that monkey family smile, and tells Helmeppo, Kobe, and Groose to run for the coast and not to die as he steps up to Kuzan wanting all the smoke. It's here that Kobe, being the sweet soul he is, falls for a pirate's trap as she pretends to be a hostage. Garp notices and in the nick of time jumps in front of a blade, wielded by an invisible Shiryu. The blade pierced Garp's chest as he protects Kobe. Then, with the blade still in his chest, Garp calls Shiryu a punk and punches him into the ground. God, I love Garp. Also, I love that after this, while Garp is telling the boys to get to the ship, Kobe is like, "It's my fault." And Garp is just like, "Don't flatter yourself. I was always the target." Garp just proved this chapter that he is him. And to add to that line, we found out that he's about worth 3 billion berries through the Cross Guild. So Garp is Yonko level confirmed. Kuzan then quiets the crowd by reminding them that they aren't on Garp's level and puts on an ice glove, unlike his former ally, Admiral Akainu, who used hot hands to turn Ace into a donut. You know what, though? Ace died with glory and with a gory hole in his chest. A hole that was caused by that glory. A glory hole, if you will. We then cut back to a very Luffy-looking young Garp and an even younger-looking Kuzan, who is begging Garp to train him. We then see that Garp showed Kuzan the battleship bags, and that they wouldn't use Haki or Devil Fruit powers while punching them, meaning these two beat the brakes off these fortified ships in base form. We also get some moments that showed how close Kuzan and Garp were, with Kuzan oversharing often about his son being a revolutionary, his grandson wanting to be a pirate, and can I just say that with him saying his son wanting to be a revolutionary, that really disproves a lot of theories about Luffy's mom. So take that theory, community, which I'm a part of. Nice. But just like me with Pudding's traumatic past, Kuzan couldn't care less about any of that. We then cut back to present where Kuzan delivers one of the coldest line, if not the coldest line in the whole chapter to Garp, stating, "You have a habit of raising enemies." Woo! Calling out Garp raising the most wanted man in the world and the future king of the pirates. That's gotta burn. Kuzan and Garp then have a hockey clash as they both punch each other in the face, resulting in both of them on their backs. Then we are left with one of the most terrifying cliffhangers I've ever seen, as Pizarro brings his arm up as the island and begins to reach for the ship, and Garp says to a panicking Koby, "Don't lose your head. Justice will prevail." Wow. What amazing events this week. Before we move on to my thoughts, though, let's head over to Fritz on Sabaody and see how he's feeling. Fritz?
Kuma just scattered the straw hats like his father's ashes to the four winds.
Oh my god. Guys, I'm going to break character a little bit for this because I got to talk. 1087 was insane, okay? Like, I can't stay in my newscaster persona to talk about how wild the fight between Garp and Kuzan has been. And not only that, but the fight between Garp and all of Hachinoso. As we see, he is taking on Blackbeard pirates left and right. He is not letting up. He is going to get off this island. Or not. I never know where Oda is going to take this story next, and I think that's why myself and most of us love One Piece, because while it is fun to theorize, it is almost impossible to predict exactly where Oda will go. Now, I will say that I think Garp was, and this is something I will be doing each week with each chapter, the MVP of this chapter, and that is no surprise, because my man was just handing out L's left and right, throwing an entire giant into the ocean like he was a piece of paper, punching the snot out of Kuzan. Why'd I say Kuzan like that? Kuzan. Shoo. Like, it's really crazy. It really was. It really, really, really was. Also, how the hell is Helmephish still alive? How is he still alive? Like, I know he trained with Garp, but, like, we haven't seen him do anything near what, like, Koby has done in the series. He's not a hero of the Marines. He's part of Sword, so he has to have some skill, but, like, how's this dude still alive? Guys, just please someone in the comments tell me, how is this guy still alive? Also, I almost gave MVP of this chapter to Pizarro, actually. His devil fruit is very intriguing to me and very amazing. I would love to see more and more of that fruit. The island fruit in itself is an interesting concept. So to see him move as an entire island was insane. And like I said, very menacing of a cliffhanger to hang off on. Now, let's rock over to Field Reporter 3-Day Trip for her thoughts on this week's events. Okay, I was going to go back into character to do this, but I have to read out what 3-Day said straight up, guys. I'm not going to lie. There's a few brave characters in this chapter, including the capybaras. We finally see Garp fight for real. He was taking on so many of the strongest Blackbeard pirates at once, while it seemed Groose and Koby just stood by. Love that she didn't even mention Helmephish, by the way. That's how much we all wonder how he's still alive. Garp is a beast. But the entire thing gave me Marineford vibes when Whitebeard wanted everyone to escape while he stayed behind. I think Whitebeard and Ace will parallel Garp and Koby. Let's just hope it doesn't end the same way. I really don't want the next chapter to be titled The Death of Two Heroes or The Donut Maker. Alright, now, after this she said back to the voice actor for Dr. Hogback and Moria, and there's a reason for that. It's because I imitate those laughs almost perfectly. So, as a little treat, as I back away from this mic so I don't clip it out, you guys get to hear my Moria impression. Also, Fritz hates Moria, and he's my man behind the scenes, so I might die. Oh my god!